Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about I'm afraid my ex won't reach out while I'm in no contact.
Right.
Well, that is a terrifying feeling.
Yeah, and that's what we're dealing with all the time.
Yeah. So many of you are just convinced that you will not hear from your ex while you're in no contact, that they'll never reach out to you again, that they'll never reconsider the relationship, and that they're just going to move on.
Because the ubiquitous third party told you they were seen having a good time with someone else.
Yes, that often does happen,
Yeah.
and oftentimes your ex is in this excited phase.
I'm free at last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are acting like a very different person in multiple areas. Like, first of all, with you, they tend to be very cold. They don't want to talk to you. They're mean, they're curt, hostile. Sometimes they're aggressive. They just don't seem like that same warm, caring person anymore.
Yep.
And so when you see that, and then you hear that they're going out or see that they're going out, those two things together make you feel like they're never going to reach out.
Well, it confirms all your worst fears.
Yeah.
Right.
But we really believe that most people will hear from their ex at some point. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. It's important that they understand.
Not everybody is going to hear from their ex, but many people are.
Many of you will hear from your ex. Not everybody. And we say that every video, every breakup is different. Every situation is different. And we wouldn't tell you that it's not possible that you won't hear from them, because how could we know? And it's simply not true. I mean, it might happen. It does happen. But most of you will. Right?
Right.
Okay. So we understand it makes it worse when you see ice cold behavior, or they even sometimes tell you, I'm never going to date you again. Well, until they do, until they change their mind, which they do.
Isn't it Taylor Swift? We are never, ever getting back together.
Yeah. And then she gets back with them.
Yes.
So I know what it's like to feel scared and feel like you're never going to have another opportunity to at least talk to them, or, try and take them out or see them again. But if you really focus on the things that we suggest, it will at least put you in a better position if it does happen. And if it doesn't, you're going to be in a much better place when you date new people, right? So one of the things that we should talk about, and this is important, is many of you won't hear from your ex for months.
Right. How long is it going to take? When does no contact work?
I understand every minute feels like a challenge. Every day feels, every hour, every second just feels like a challenge. But trust me when I say, if you focus on the growth and you really stay focused on your mental health and getting to a good place emotionally, as opposed to looking at their WhatsApp, their Facebook, their Instagram, their Snapchat, where are they at and where are they doing, you're going to be much better off in the process. Right?
Absolutely.
Because, it does take time to grow and to change. Many of you think you've changed after 3 weeks. It's nonsense.
Yeah, change takes a long time. And it's hard. Think about changing one small thing about yourself. It's hard.
Yeah, to truly change, right? So it's actually working in your favor to have months to truly change, because your ex is likely going to come back and test things with you and look closely at those areas that you struggled. And if they see that you're still struggling, they may say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, right? So that time and space away from them really works in your favor. I know you're feeling a lot of separation anxiety. It's very painful. I understand. However, if you use the time wisely, you won't regret it.
Right.
Because a lot of times you hear, the grass is greener. They're going to think the grass is greener.
Well, and at some point, I think we really have to ask ourselves, how lovable do we think we are or are not? Would you wait for you?
Yeah.
If you broke up with you, would you go back to you? And those would probably be interesting thoughts to have. But I think if you don't have a sense that you're basically lovable, it makes this even harder.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you think or are afraid of, and this is reasonable, that they'll find somebody else that's more lovable than you.
Yeah.
Or that they'll have a stronger connection with than you. Well, in the beginning, when they meet somebody new and it's just lust, yeah, that's possible. But it doesn't mean that it's going to lead to a long-term commitment or relationship. Because that lust is easy, you know,
Oh, yes.
when it's fun and exciting.
And swell.
Yeah. But when it becomes something more meaningful about, giving and taking and being responsible for another person or obligated to them and all of those things that come with a long-term commitment, a lot of times it doesn't get to that place. Right. And it falls apart. Right. So dating may be fun and exciting for them at first, but it's not likely going to lead to them finding somebody that is like this miracle person. Yes, it happens sometimes, but rarely.
Really.
Right. So it's normal to feel scared. Your body's releasing chemicals. You got to remind yourself.
You got to get him back. You got to give him back.
Mm-hmm. This is biologically hardwired into us to reconnect with them. And everything inside of you is going to overwhelm your ability to even think sometimes, because you're just going to feel like that fog-like state. Right? So understand that your body is going through chemical changes, and that is part of the fear. Right? That is
absolutely.
It's like, think of the lost child in the store. When you see them, even when the parents come back, they're still upset. They're still crying. That's how overwhelmed they are by the whole situation. And that's, I think, really the best description.
I think so too.
Of losing a partner. Because it feels the same.
Panic. Absolutely. There you are, little and alone, and you don't know what to do.
Yeah. And so that the romantic connection is very similar to the connection we bond or have with our caregivers.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, your ex almost certainly bonded with you, right? I mean, unless you're with somebody who has some serious personality disorders, right? Like a narcissist. Even though you're scared that you're going to be replaced, or your ex is going to find some incredible bond with somebody new, it could happen, but it's not likely to happen, right? Because your ex is going to revisit you and thinking about you when the lust kind of wears off of this new situation. And then they compare you a lot of times.
No one makes better cupcakes than you.
So they're going to look at you, and they're going to look at this new person, and as they get to know this new person, they're going to see they're not so perfect. They're not so great and amazing as they thought they were. And they're going to miss the attachment that they had with you. And even if they ended their relationship with you, it doesn't mean that at some point they're not going to fear like they've lost you. Which it sounds bizarre, right?
It does.
Wait a minute. They broke up with me. How are they going to miss me? What do you think, Margaret?
Well, if you've been with somebody for a while and you've been intimate with them and you've spent time with them, then you're going to be attached.
Absolutely.
All right, there's no way around it. When people say, well, you didn't hear how cold they were when they broke up with me. This person has no attachment left in them. Yes, they do. That's a very elaborate defense.
Yeah. Okay? And, if you have stopped reaching out, which that's how we look at no contact, is not reaching out, okay? If you have done that, that space allows them to miss you and to get that separation anxiety from you. Yeah. And that is extremely powerful. Margaret, do you think there's anything more powerful than separation anxiety?
No.
When you're trying to reattract somebody?
No. Separation anxiety is profound. We are born with it. We have it over a lifetime. Okay? And no, it's extremely powerful. They can't just beat it. I mean, we're made to attach. And as Craig points out, all those attachment feelings we've had all of our life from day one.
And all of these suggestions that we see, grand gestures, handwritten letters, good reminder texts, clean slate messages, those things are less powerful than no contact, because
Yes.
the anxiety we feel drives us, just like the anxiety you feel is overwhelming you to want them back. Well, if you go no contact, it works that way on them as well.
Exactly.
And so growing in this time and healing in this time and really focusing on being a better person will have a profound impact on them as well.
And it's kind of like, later in the relationship when the person is thinking about you and wondering what you're doing, if you want to have an evil little thought about, now they're having some of the feelings I had in the beginning, ha.
It's true.
That's fair enough.
It's true. It really is.
Ha, they're getting theirs now, ha.
And a lot of you do want them to experience it, and I totally understand. we get it, you know. But at the end of the day, we want you to have a healthy relationship with somebody that you love and somebody that loves you,
right,
and somebody that's going to act like an adult with you. And giving them time and space to do what they need to do and allowing them the time to miss you is extremely powerful. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like it. I understand. And everything inside of you is saying connect, connect, connect. But think about how motivated you are to get them back. It's your anxiety that's driving you.
And both anxiety and anger, although they can be very difficult to deal with, can motivate us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Use it. Okay? You may feel like you're not lovable, that other people are going to be more lovable, right?
Right.
That is probably more related to hurt and attachment issues from your childhood than it is about how your partner sees you.
And when you work on yourself, that's one of the big issues. Yeah.
And they'll see it. Believe me, they will see it when they come back and they revisit things. They'll be able to tell. And, many of you who do stay focused on the work will feel stronger and stronger every day that you're in no contact. And you'll feel more like yourself. And you feel like you're getting more of that energy back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That you've put into the relationship, now you're getting it back for yourself. And you feel more powerful and more confident and less afraid of what they're doing with their life. And ultimately, that's where we want you to be as well. In a place within yourself that you feel confident that you're going to be happy regardless what happens with what somebody else decides to do with their life.
Because you can love again, there's no question. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like, you've got a hole in your chest and you're never going to love again.
But time does help. Working on yourself in that time helps. Staying focused on your mental health helps. And you'll be surprised the day that you hear from them. I think we always are. Because it always kind of feels like it happens when you've kind of moved on.
Just when you're ready to move on, it has a way of happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like they know. We always talk about the airwaves. You can laugh at us, that's fine.
The disturbance in the force.
Disturbance in the force. It's almost like they know you're ready to move on and say, I better contact so-and-so before I lose them altogether.
Yep. It's so true. So it's understandable that you're afraid your ex won't reach out, but take comfort in knowing that throughout any given week that we have, many of you do hear from your exes again.
Right.
So, of course, we're here to help you in your situation. Just go to my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. And of course, Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you think I can be helpful, please sign up.
But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.